Hey, thank you so much for joining us today for Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. This is one of our favorite times of the week. We get to have fun with you and, our special guest, which just happens to be DeMeo. I'm so excited about this episode. How about you?
DeMeo, 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 DeMeo. He's in the mix.
Yes. So yeah, we got that covered up for you, and of course, music industry news and beats by yours truly. So yeah, I'm just kind of ready to dip into it. It's a good time. What, holidays tomorrow? So yeah, yeah, let's just jump on in.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, and that music industry news, I'm telling you, it be banging.
Love it. All right, let's go.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Today's a great day, you know. I mean, every day is a great day, but today is an extra special day because we have a young man that's joining us today who's talented in many different ways. He's helping a lot of folks, but he's also making things happen on paper and on recording. And so with no further ado, we're just going to bring him right onto the line. The one and only DeMeo. DeMeo, how you doing today, sir?
I am doing just fine, Breezy. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Hey man, we're glad that you're in the seat today. It's not the hot seat, it's the cool seat. Okay, you got the coolness. You got the coolness. Okay, so let's set this up. Just share with our listeners just who DeMeo is, a little bit about your background, how you got started, or what led you to get started, and where you are, and all of that kind of stuff, where you're located. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I am located in Chicago, Illinois. That's where I was born and raised, and so I have been working on some pop music lately. I guess some would call it like a psychedelic pop. Not the most approachable in all senses, but I think it's very interesting once you get listening to it. I love synths, and I love incorporating pop and R&B kind of together and making something new out of it. So.
Okay. Which actually, that's very refreshing.
Yeah. Absolutely. The genre
I hope so.
and bending. Yeah.
And then you were asking just kind of some of my past. I've had some amazing opportunities over the years here. I actually was fortunate enough to open up for Etta James when she was still living.
Whoa.
And I've also played a concert with Deborah Cox.
Wow.
and Ruthie Foster as well. I've had some great opportunities, and now I've got something new. At that time, I was playing with a band, and now I've got my own thing going on, going solo.
Okay.
That's awesome.
It is. It really is. And so that might have been a predestined thing. Everything else you did might have just been put in place to lead you to what's happening today, this week, and this month.
It's very possible. I certainly hope so.
Oh yeah. Okay. So now, when did you first get the itch for music? I mean, what age were you, and what were you into? And back then, when you say, I might be, or did people encourage you to get involved with music? How did all of that happen?
Yeah, I mean, really, it kind of happened just with school. I think, just an introduction to music at, just in grade school in general. And then I picked up the violin. It was actually my first instrument. I was only about 6 years old and started with violin. And I kind of just took more of an ear towards the piano after a while. And at a certain point, I just switched to piano, and I've been playing piano ever since. I actually I went to school to be a pianist. Really, I was playing concerts, classical pianist, classically trained. So it's been a long time.
Okay, and a very fruitful journey, though. A very fruitful journey. Long time, but a fruitful journey. And so, so you're painting a portrait for us and our listeners. Okay, and that's a very that portrait has got a lot of colors in it. It's got a lot of vivid images in there, and so on and so forth. So you fast forward it all. So now, what was life? Let's flash back 10 years ago. Okay,
Sure.
What was life like? And share that with our listeners.
So 10 years ago, I mean, that's really when I was, we had this band called the Heatbirds, also based out of Chicago. And that's when we were playing with a lot of different festivals and all sorts of things kind of in the general area, Milwaukee, Chicago. And that's really where I started learning how to play live. So playing live shows, that's really where that got started.
Okay. Now, the persona that we see on the internet is one of you're very likable. Okay, you know, and I receive a stage presence, a professional one, but a very likable one where you have a lot of attraction marketing going on without even opening your mouth. Your very appearance and the way you handle yourself visually, that's magnetic.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, that's something I think I can improve and get better on as I go on as a solo artist here. But yeah, I mean, I hope so. I hope people relate to maybe some of the things I have to say, some of the ideas I have to share, and then of course I hope they relate to the music that I'm creating.
Okay. And so I know Achickwitbeatz has got she's itching with some questions, so go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm just a little curious, like, what does your creative process look like? Like, how do you get into a zone?
So as far as the creative process, I think a lot of my music just kind of happens when I least expect it. I'll be laying in bed at maybe having trouble falling asleep at like 2:30 in the morning, and the next thing I know, there's a little piece of music or a song riff happening in my head, and I have to, you know, not totally jump out of bed, but, you know, grab the phone, get a voice recorder going and record something. And then, you know, I'll often revisit that idea, you know, the next day or something like that, and just listen through it, and then maybe sit at the piano, start working on chords that could accompany it, or sometimes it's just a hook or a chorus. You know, oftentimes I'll start my music without even having any inkling of what the words are, and just kind of working on a chorus and a verse even without real words, and then just over time that starts turning into a real song. And then a lot of the times I demo things right on my phone, because that's a big part of, I would say, why I'm doing things now, or why I'm so excited about things now in the year 2020, 2021. I think a lot has changed. You know, you really can pull out your phone, and I demoed a whole album on my iPhone, just in GarageBand.
Wow.
And then being able to take that and then using the technology that we as musicians, as recording artists, have at our fingertips with you know, with all the choices, Ableton, you know, all the different DAW systems out there, and being able to turn that into something that sounds in many cases as good as or close to what you could produce in a studio.
Yeah.
And so that's a big thing with me, is I really want my new music to sound like it was done in a major recording studio, but really it's just done in my home studio.
That's awesome. Now, you know, you said it, there's so many DAWs out there, digital audio workspaces. What's your favorite one to use for that?
So I actually use Studio One by Presonus. I feel like not many people do, but I've heard more and more about it. And I've even heard that it's starting to replace Pro Tools in some of the major studios. So.
Yeah, awesome. I've heard the same thing. I've never actually used it myself, but yeah, I'm just kind of curious, you know, with somebody as creative as you, and, you know, the fact that you're doing a lot on the go and, you know, just kind of piecing it together, it's always nice to kind of know what you gravitate to. So thanks for indulging me in that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I get some upbeat vibes from you. Okay. And those are really great. Okay. Because, you know, in these times, you know, all gloom and doom stuff going on and whatever.
Sure.
Okay. Then next thing you know, DeMeo comes along and he's flipped that script right there. Okay. And so that's, I mentioned attraction marketing, you know, without even taking many steps. It's like, you know, there's a void that you're filling, because, in my opinion, because, you know, with the gloom and doom, and then boom, here he comes, DeMeo, and I mean, it's like you're taking the gloom and doom off of people's minds, and you're putting it right into the music the sounds, the audios, the whatever, and next thing you know, you saying, okay, well, that he put me in a great mood. So
yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think there's never been a better time to be producing music and getting it out there to people. It is, it's just something about the whole pandemic really turned things upside down. But something about having that time to create, and we've all heard it from a lot of different artists and people out there, being able to actually use that time to create. And so it's the perfect time. It's the perfect time to have all that extra effort that you put in and make something positive and fruitful from it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, that's a good thing to hear. And with some stuff starting to open back up and live shows starting to pick up again.
Yeah,
you've mentioned that you've performed in a lot of places, with a lot of people. And I just kind of want to know if you've ever experienced performance anxiety and maybe what you've done to overcome it, or any advice you could offer somebody that's kind of itching to get back out there, but they're a little nervous about it.
Yeah. Well, let's see. As far as overcoming performance anxiety, I feel like the only thing that you can do is get out there and do it. I would say I was the most nervous in my career when I would have to play an hour-long piano concert without singing. Just an hour-long classical piano concert was made me the most nervous I've ever been. But something about, I don't do that anymore, but something about getting out on stage and having a microphone in front of me and the piano, and not necessarily having to feel like I'm bound to, the written score of a classical score. Mm-hmm. Something about that is very freeing. And that's something that helped me kind of get out of that nervous mind frame, was to be able to sing and be able to do something different up on stage. And so that's really, that helped me tremendously. And I don't feel anywhere near as nervous when I'm able to actually just start singing. And the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Mm.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Okay. So now, time flies, and as we start getting ready to unfortunately pull this interview to an end, well, we're already going to say, yeah, you got to come back. Okay. Oh, yeah. And we gotta have DeMeo part 2. Okay. But now in the meantime, we're bouncing questions back and forth off of you. Okay. And we know that there are some things on your mind musically that you want to share with our listeners that we didn't even ask you. Okay, so we're just going to ask you to dig into your mind a little bit, about, okay, well, what's on your mind? Share that with our listeners. Some of them are eager to hear what you got to say. Some of them are musicians. Some aren't musicians. They're just lovers of music. So what would you say? How would you address them right now?
Well, if I had to address the music lover out there, I feel, and kind of relating back to what I said a little bit, a little while ago, just that there's never been a better time to be creating music. And I think for music lovers too, there's never been a better time to explore new music. So I'm kind of hoping that, the pandemic and all these people being creative, and every year we hear about there's more artists on Spotify by some crazy proportion than there was the year before. I'm hoping with all that new music that people are actually consuming it. And as I was saying, there's never been a better time to seek out new music and to hear new music and explore all sorts of different undiscovered artists out there.
Okay, wonderful words from the mind of DeMeo. Love it.
Yeah. Okay. So now take 30 seconds. Before we get rid. Share. Bring the beard alive to our listeners.
Bring the beard alive.
Yeah. Talk about your beard. I mean, we know you get comments and everything. You know, you're taking care of it. It's all laid and everything. Okay, so
Yeah, I had it much longer. I recently trimmed it up, but yeah, it was it's just something I enjoy on myself and my style, and it's you especially. I think anybody with any kind of longer hair, it's something I never related to with women having to take care of their hair until I had a longer beard. It's just how much work goes into it.
Okay. Well, it's really a unique appearance, man, and so you got some things going on that a lot of other people they can't reach, because they can't do that like you're doing that. So we can't as men or as a man, hey, I mean that's an advantage, man. That's everybody can't do that like you're doing that, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, well, It's not going anywhere. I'm not shaving it.
Awesome. Okay. Beard gang for life.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and knock out, where people can follow you, where they can purchase your music and creativity from and all of that good stuff, so they can write that down, they can share that with their folks.
Yeah, sure. So my music is streaming. Well, it's streaming everywhere. So on every platform, you can find DeMeo for sale in iTunes store. But really, if you just want to find my music, people can just go right to loudemeo.com, LOUDEMEO.com. And from there, you can reach everything. You can reach my Spotify. You can reach Apple Music. You can reach my TikTok. All of that from there.
Awesome.
Okay. All right, man. Okay. Well, hey, you got my accolades, man. So, we just want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule for joining us and spreading the word of the music right here through this our show, Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. So, my hats off to you, our hats off. And so any statements Achickwitbeatz that you want to make before we close out?
Yeah, I just want to say I really appreciate you coming through, and sharing your story with us and your energy. We appreciate the positivity, and sincerely can't wait to have you back soon.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Be more than happy.
Awesome.
Okay. One and only DeMeo, ladies and gentlemen. So, check him out, look him up, and buy some of his creativity and let it spread through your day to make your day a more positive day. Okay, so thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Right, that was DeMeo. Man, just phenomenal. Can't wait for the next time.
Oh, a genuine warm spirit, that's for sure.
Yes, that's a perfect way to put it. So, all right, we're gonna break for some more beats by yours truly, and then we'll be right back after this with music industry news.
Okay.
we're back with the music industry news. It's always stuff going on. Half the time, it's just kind of hard to pick and choose and see, which ones are going to be the most impactful to share that can help you with your music career and, your goals, and just to kind of be aware of what's going on. So even for, the casual listener who might not be making music, there's a lot of investment opportunities available these days. So yeah, so much going on, and we love sharing it with you.
Yeah, you can elevate and escalate. You sure can. So don't take it lightly. Okay? Make it happen for yourself.
Absolutely. All right. So first up, Universal inks a deal with Snap Inc. So, the company for Snapchat. And so it's spanning the whole recorded music and their augmented reality experiences. So this means, like, under the terms of that agreement, Snapchat's users can incorporate UMG's whole catalog to use. So it could be, for their sounds tool, including search, curated playlists, and all that stuff. So, if you're a Snapchat user, there's a lot more tools available to you now. And, it's always important to know what kind of deals are being made.
Don't get left out. Don't let them boys step over you. You gotta stay in the mix.
Right. All right, this was pretty cool. The Pittsburgh Music Education Coalition, Unisound, has received a $95,000 grant to fund its Black Teaching Artists in Residence program. So now these funds will be used as they develop their craft and engage with the community. So it's the person that's kind of in charge of that now is going to be moving on to some other things, but this grant will ensure that the program continues to support a second generation of teaching artists, and that will be announced in August. So yeah, if you're definitely in the Pittsburgh area, you want to keep an eye on that. And it's also, good to know wherever you are that things like this exist. So, check it out, see what kind of funds are available for things of that nature. You could possibly start something like that in your own city.
Yeah, sky's the limit.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And an update, the Recording Academy, the former president, Deborah Dugan, they've settled their differences. So, it was a whole bunch of mud being slung around as she was asked to step down, basically. But what was going on is she was saying that she was trying to break up the exclusive boys club they had going on. So, they were just kind of going at each other. But now they've managed to settle their differences, and all the terms of that are being under close wraps. So that's all the information we have for now, but at least the beef appears to be over.
Well, that's a good thing, but now on the other hand, those boys clubs, now I got to bring that to the forefront. I'm a male. I see a lot of things going on. Okay, so when you get these boys clubs going and they want to block certain people, especially of the feminine gender, you want to block folks from coming in, block folks from taking place, from participating, that's some crazy stuff. So I'm glad that they seem to be working that out.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for speaking up on that. It's always nice, I'll say, as a woman, to know that there's men out there that recognize that and, will speak up when they see something. So kudos to you. I appreciate you for doing that.
Okay, well, you can mail my check, put my check in the mail.
Yeah.
But no, equality, you gotta have it.
Absolutely. All right, in the Atlanta recording studio, Patchwork is warning young artists of scams. So Curtis Daniel III, who's a co-owner, said that the studio had posted a fraud alert on Instagram because somebody was pretending to be affiliated with the studio and was messaging people on social media saying that they could get a label deal if they sent a small fee of $200 up front. And so his main takeaway from that was that's your first indication that it's a scam. You shouldn't have to pay money to get a deal for somebody promising you something like that. Always check it out. And it got to the point that he actually had to make it known that this person wasn't affiliated with them because so many people kept falling for it. And so, yeah, that's a good thing to kind of pay attention to no matter where you are. If somebody's requesting that you spend something in order to get to do this, you need to check it out every single time. They like to throw around terms like, oh, scared money don't make money and all that. And in some cases, yeah, that's true. But most of the time, if you have to pay in order to get somebody to take a look at you and all that, you definitely want to make sure that they are who they say they are. Verify, verify, verify.
Well, shouts out to Bob Whitfield. Bob Whitfield actually was an athlete in his early days and very successful, and he spent some part of his career playing offensive tackle for the New York Giants, and then subsequently was traded to Atlanta, to the Atlanta Falcons, and actually once he got to Atlanta, his side network flourished. Okay, and so he put his toe in there and helped establish Patchwork Studio over there on Northside Drive in Atlanta. And oh my gosh, Outkast, and I can't tell you how many of the artists from not only just Atlanta but from all over the country started coming over there to Patchwork. So to that Patchwork Studio. So shouts out to him. It's over there near Georgia Tech. Shouts out to Georgia Tech. So when you hear the name Patchwork Studio, I mean, people listen. So for, shame on those that were using that name of Patchwork Studio to pull that fraud off like that. And because this over at Patchwork, those are some really good people. The real ones, those are some really good people.
That's awesome. All right. And also, Hipgnosis, their back catalog spending has been paying off big time in the pandemic. And one thing that I thought was really interesting, so, okay, everybody knows, like, during the lockdowns and all that, people were just streaming music like crazy. But 60% of the songs that Hipgnosis owns the rights to are over 10 years old. So although, this new stuff is out and all that, but the older stuff is what was kind of really bringing in the bucks for them during the pandemic. So it just kind of makes you think of the phrase, old is gold. So keep that in mind. It's okay to kind of give into like a little bit of the trends or whatever, but that substantial music that kind of has an impact and can last for a while, that's where the money is. So just a heads up. All right, we're going to take a quick music break and then we'll be right back with more music industry news right after this.
Sounds like a winner.
Okay, and we're back with round two of music industry news. Amazon is starting a record club of the month. So, it's going to come to the members every 30 days, but apparently it's not going to be like the most recent stuff. And they're trying to focus on vinyl's golden era, so the 60s and 70s. So it'll be $25 a month to be a part of that. And, it's still pretty decent for a club like that. So it's something to keep an eye on, pay attention to what's happening. All right. And the sale of E1 Music was completed. So it got sold to Blackstone, which also owns the major music rights organization CSAC. So that deal finally went through. We mentioned that a little while ago, but it went through for $385 million. And so now the company, So now the company will operate as a separate business unit, and they're focusing on, quote unquote, creator first music brand with a global scale and expertise. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what comes of that.
Mm-hmm. Very much. Very interesting. Very
All right. And, I bet you might have thought that we were going to get by an episode without mentioning NFTs. Nope. So the CEO of One Off did an interview recently where he was talking about One Off being an affordable green music NFT. So we mentioned the company a while ago when they got some funding, but it was co-founded in partnership with Quincy Jones. So the fact that it's going to be affordable, so they're talking about doing $5 NFTs and green, because recently there was an expose talking about how much energy Bitcoin used and so how bad it is for the environment. So now there's these companies actually trying to use something different to just make it easier on the environment. So it's something that more people will be able to take part of without worrying about, leaving a huge carbon footprint. So to make it easy for artists to be able to jump in and, mint their NFTs and do so responsibly is a big deal. So once again, that's One Of. Make sure that you check that out if you're interested in getting into the game. Because like I said, we talk about it every week. There's always some new story going on with NFTs. And, I think it's going to be that way for a while. So definitely pay attention, do your research, and get in where you fit in.
Yeah. There's nothing but potential success with that. Okay, of course everything's got its negatives, but the NFT world, hey man, it's exploding with growth.
Yes, absolutely. All right, and that wraps up this week's edition of Music Industry News. We'll take a quick music break, and then we'll be right back before we close out the night with you. that's it for this week's edition of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. We definitely hope that you'll join us next week as we do this again. I mean, it's just a good time. We love sharing talented artists with you and music industry news. And of course, I love sharing my beats with you as well. So, I just hope that you'll join us again next time.
Oh yeah, and nothing but goodness out there. So again, I got to double on that. So thanks for checking in, and we'll be back just like Achickwitbeatz. Oh, and don't forget to visit Achickwitbeatz.com because there's a plethora of beats, songs, all kind of rhythms and so forth. One of those beats or songs could be your next gold record. Okay, so collaborate, jump in, go through the libraries. You might find something in Achickwitbeatz.com that fits your style and taste and grace, and grab it from her and do the necessary steps taken, and hey, you can take that song, that beat, that sound, and kick it and make it happen. So that's Achickwitbeatz.com. Check it out.
Thank you very much, and I do hope you'll do just that. All right, so we'll be back same time, same place. Tune in, tell a friend, and we'll see you then. Peace.
Peace.